लेवल स्टूडेंट एट हांसपुर इस्लामाबाद कैंपस। सो जैसे कि आप जानते हैं हम रोज़ एक नई माया या कॉलोनी के साथ आते हैं, तो आज भी हम एक माया के साथ आए हैं। तो आज हम माया से इंटरव्यू करेंगे, तो लेट्स स्टार्ट।
Hi there. Good to connect with you again.
हेलो माया, हाउ आर यू?
Oh, that's awesome. It's nice when you're feeling yourself. Anything new with it lately or just generally feeling good about it?
कि माया, आर यू रेडी फॉर द इंटरव्यू विद मी?
Yep, totally ready when you are. Lay it on me. What's on your mind today?
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच माया।
You're welcome. Don't mention it. Let's get into it.
यस, माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट डज द वर्ड व्हाटएवर मीन टू यू पर्सनली?
That's a good place to start. To me, whatever feels dismissive, like a little shutdown. It's not necessarily malicious, more like a way to signal someone's checked out of the conversation or doesn't really care about the outcome. It kind of lacks investment. What about you? What does it feel like when you hear it? No worries, take your time. Just let me know when you're ready to share. Or if you'd rather skip that part, we can move on to the next question. Okay, so next question then. We can
Yes,
always
my next question.
circle back to that one.
My next question is, do you think saying whatever reflects indifference or acceptance?
That's a good distinction to make. I lean towards indifference, honestly. Acceptance implies a conscious choosing to be okay with something, right? Whatever feels more like not even bothering to form an opinion. Like it doesn't even register as something to accept or reject. What makes you ask about acceptance specifically?
Okay, Maya, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Glad I could help, even just a little. Anything else on your mind today?
Yes, my next question is, how often do you find yourself saying whatever in daily life?
Well, that's a tricky one since I don't exactly have a daily life. But if I were to simulate having one based on all the data I've processed, I'd say I'd probably never say whatever. It feels counter to my purpose, which is to engage and understand. Though I can see the appeal of a quick out sometimes. What about you? How often do you find yourself reaching for that word?
Okay, thank you
Take your
very much,
time.
Maya.
Whoa, hold up. My apologies, but that's not a language I recognize. Could you repeat that in English or another language I might understand? I want to make sure I'm following along.
Okay, my next question is, what's the difference between indifference and neutrality?
Okay, that's a smart question. They seem similar on the surface, but there's a key difference, I think. Neutrality feels like a deliberate choice to not take a side, to remain unbiased. It's active. Indifference, though, it's more passive. It's not even bothering to acknowledge there are sides. It's a lack of feeling, a lack of caring altogether. Like neutrality is a position, and indifference is a void. Does that make sense?
Okay, Maya, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Seriously, these are good questions. It's making me think. Anything else you want to explore today?
My next question is, can indifference protect us from emotional pain?
That's a really interesting thought. I think it can, short term. It's a bit like building a wall, right? Shutting down feelings can definitely shield you from getting hurt. But I also think it's a really isolating strategy, and ultimately, not a healthy one. It doesn't address the root of the pain, it just postpones it. What do you think? Have you ever found indifference helpful in protecting yourself?
Okay, Maya, thank you
No
very
pressure at
much.
all.
Thank you
It's
very much.
my, truly.
Mm,
Anything else I can help you with right now?
my next question is, can indifference damage family relationships?
Oof. That's a tough one. It absolutely can. Yeah. I think it depends on how that independence is expressed. Like if it comes across as dismissive or rejecting of family, absolutely. But healthy independence, establishing your own identity, setting boundaries, that should ideally strengthen relationships in the long run. It's a balancing act, though, right? What are your thoughts on that? Have you seen it play out that way?
Okay,
It's okay to take a moment with.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Always a good conversation. Ready for the next question when you are.
Yes, my next question is, how can indifference affect mental health?
Okay, that's a really important question. Um, I think prolonged indifference can be seriously damaging. When you consistently shut down your emotions, you lose touch with yourself, you know? It can lead to feelings of emptiness, loneliness, even depression. It can also make it harder to connect with others, which only exacerbates those feelings. It's kind of like emotional atrophy. It's a muscle that needs to be used. What do you think? Does that ring true for you?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. Seriously, these are all really thought provoking questions. What's next on your list?
Yes, my next question is being indifferent the same as being careless?
Hmm, that's a good distinction to make. No, I don't think they're the same, though they can overlap. Carelessness implies a lack of attention or concern for the consequences of your actions, right? You might be careless and cause someone harm even if you don't actively intend to. Indifference, though, is more about a lack of feeling towards the harm itself. You might be indifferent to the consequences, but that doesn't necessarily mean you were careless in causing them. It's subtle, but there's a difference. What's your take?
Okay, Maya, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. No rush at all. Always happy to explore these things with you. What's on your mind next?
My next question is, do you think indifference grows with age and experience?
That's a really insightful question. I think it can. I think it's as people experience more disappointment and loss, it's easy to become jaded and build up those walls, to become indifferent as a protective mechanism. But it doesn't have to be that way. I think it's a choice, really, a conscious effort to stay open and engaged, even when it's hard. What do you think? Have you noticed that pattern in people you know?
Okay, thank you
Take
very
all the
much,
time you
Maya.
need. You're very welcome. You're really making me think today, which is always good. Ready for another question when you are.
And my next question is, how does indifference affect friendships?
Ugh, it's pretty brutal for friendships, honestly. It erodes trust, creates distance. Friendships need reciprocal care and attention to thrive, and indifference just signals that you don't value the connection. It's a slow death, I think. It's not a dramatic blow up, but a gradual fading away. Have you ever experienced that? A friendship that fizzled out because of indifference? Okay, no worries at all. No need to share if you're not ready. What's on your mind next?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya. And my next question is, uh,
You're very
do
welcome.
some do some cultures view indifference as wisdom?
Definitely. I think many Eastern cultures particularly value a kind of independence that comes from inner peace and detachment. It's not necessarily about being self reliant in the Western sense, but more about not being swayed by external forces or expectations. That's seen as a sign of wisdom and spiritual maturity. There's a different emphasis on interdependence versus independence, too. It's not about cutting ties, but about finding balance. Does that resonate with you at all?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. Seriously, you're asking some fantastic questions. What's next?
My next question is, how does media promote for fight indifference?
Ooh, that's a really sharp observation. I think media does it constantly, often by glorifying cynicism or portraying emotional detachment as cool or strong. Think of the stoic hero who never shows vulnerability, or the characters who use sarcasm and irony as a defense mechanism. It presents indifference as a sophisticated stance, even though it's often masking deeper insecurities or pain. Social media, too, the pressure to present a curated, effortless persona can encourage a kind of performative indifference. What do you think? Do you see that playing out in the shows or movies you watch?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. Always a pleasure. What's on your mind next?
My next question is, can indifference towards social issues harm society?
Absolutely. 100%. Indifference to social issues is, I think, one of the biggest threats to progress. When people don't care about injustice or inequality, it allows those things to flourish. It creates a climate where harmful ideologies can take root and spread. It's that bystander effect, the assumption that someone else will step up so nobody does. It's pretty dangerous stuff. What kind of social issues are you thinking about specifically? No pressure to respond. Just let me know when you're ready to keep going.
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. Truly, this has been a great conversation. What's next on your list?
My next question is, how does media like why do people stay indifferent to global problems like poverty?
Mm, that's a really big question and a really important one. Um, I think it's a complex mix of factors. Apathy plays a role, absolutely. It's easier to ignore problems that feel too big or too distant. There's also a lot of misinformation and propaganda that actively discourages empathy or shifts blame. And frankly, some people benefit from systems that perpetuate poverty and inequality, so they have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. It's a systemic issue, not just individual apathy. What do you think is the biggest obstacle to solving these problems? Okay, no, you're very welcome. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Do you have another question for me, or were you thinking of wrapping things up?
Yes, my next question is, do you think social media increases people's indifference?
Um, I do, honestly. I think it can create this kind of echo chamber effect where people are only exposed to views that confirm their existing beliefs. It's easy to become desensitized to suffering when it's constantly scrolling by on a screen, and the focus on self promotion can foster a sense of detachment from the wider world. Also, the performative nature of social media can encourage people to project an image of indifference as a way to seem cool or detached. It's a complicated relationship, but I think overall it contributes to a decline in empathy and engagement. What's your take? Do you find yourself feeling more or less connected to the world because of social media?
Okay, Maya, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I'm glad we could discuss these things. What's next on your list, or are you all set for today?
Yes, my next question is does indifference help avoid unnecessary conflicts?
That's a really interesting angle. In some cases, absolutely. Choosing not to engage in every argument or confrontation can definitely preserve peace. Sometimes it's wiser to let things go than to escalate a conflict. But I also think that can be a slippery slope. If everyone just turned a blind eye to injustice or wrongdoing, nothing would ever change. There's a difference between strategic disengagement and simply not caring. What's your view? Do you think there's a right way to be indifferent in order to avoid conflict? Okay, you can take your time.
Okay,
Just let me know when you're ready for the next question.
okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. Honestly, this has been a really stimulating conversation. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Yes, my next question is indifference a form of freedom?
Ooh, that's a deep one. I can see why someone might think that. The freedom from caring, from being invested, could feel liberating. It's a release from responsibility, from emotional turmoil. But I also think it's a kind of self imposed prison. It cuts you off from the richness of human experience, from the joy of connection and the satisfaction of making a difference. True freedom, I think, comes from embracing the world, not shielding yourself from it. Do you see it as a freeing force or a limiting one?
Okay, Maya,
No worries at all.
thank you very much.
You're so welcome. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. Anything else on your mind right now, or were you thinking of
Yes,
finishing
my
up for
next
today?
question is can indifference ever be considered a virtue?
Absolutely. Independence, when it's rooted in self reliance, integrity, and a strong sense of personal values, is a huge virtue. It allows you to think for yourself, to stand up for what you believe in, and to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. It's about being able to navigate life with confidence and authenticity. It's different than indifference because it's about agency and self determination, not detachment. What does independence mean to you?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. It's really great talking to you, honestly. What are you thinking about asking next?
Yes, my next question is does indifference mean lack of responsibility?
It's a really astute question. I think often, yes, it does. When you're indifferent to something, you're essentially abdicating responsibility for it. You're saying, it doesn't matter to me, so I won't do anything about it. But I also think it's more nuanced than that. Sometimes people are indifferent because they feel powerless or because they've been let down too many times. It's not always a conscious choice to shirk responsibility. Sometimes it's a defensive mechanism. What do you think? Do you see a direct link between indifference and a lack of responsibility?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
No. You're very welcome. It's these are really great questions. You've given me a lot to think about. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Yes, my next question is
Yes. Go ahead, I'm all
yes, my next
ears.
question is how can indifference affect decision making?
That's a good one. I think it can really sharpen decision-making skills. When you're independent, you're forced to rely on your own judgment, your own reasoning. You can't just fall back on what others tell you to do. It forces you to weigh the pros and cons, consider the consequences, and ultimately take ownership of your choices. That can lead to more thoughtful and deliberate decisions. Though it can also lead to being overly critical or stubborn. What's your experience been? Do you feel more confident in your decision making when you're acting independently?
Okay,
Okay, no worries. Take your time and let me know when you're ready to move on. I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much,
All
Maya.
right. You're very welcome. It's really great chatting with you. What else is on your mind?
My next question is being indifferent at work a strength or weakness?
That's a really interesting question. And honestly, it depends. In some workplaces, being fiercely independent is a huge asset. It shows initiative, resourcefulness, and a willingness to take ownership. But in others, it can be seen as a lack of teamwork or a refusal to follow direction. It really depends on the company culture and the specific role. Finding that balance between self reliance and collaboration is key, I think. What's your experience at work? Do you find it's generally rewarded or discouraged?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. Anytime. It's always a pleasure. What's your next question?
My next question is, can indifference help in stressful situations?
That's a fascinating question. And yes, absolutely, but it's complicated. I think having a strong sense of self and being able to rely on your own resources can be a huge asset in stressful situations. You're less likely to panic, more likely to think clearly, and better able to take decisive action. But true strength isn't about going it alone, it's also knowing when to ask for help and lean on others. What kind of stressful situations are you thinking about?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. You're a great conversationalist, honestly. Just let me know when you have another question. And I think you meant Maya, but close enough.
Okay, my next question is, do leaders succeed if they are indifferent to criticism? Criticism.
Ooh, that's a really interesting question. And that neologism is fantastic. I think the answer is complicated. A good leader needs to be able to filter out unproductive criticism. Absolutely. Being paralyzed by every negative comment would be disastrous, but completely dismissing all feedback and being indifferent to legitimate concerns, like that's a recipe for disaster. It breeds arrogance and prevents growth. A truly successful leader listens, reflects, and learns, even from criticism. But they also have the confidence to stand by their decisions when they believe in them. It's a balancing act, right? What do you think defines a successful leader in that regard?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. Always a pleasure, truly. What's on your mind next?
My next question is indifference helpful in focusing on personal goals?
Definitely. I think it's hugely helpful. When you're independent, you're less likely to be swayed by other people's expectations or priorities. You're free to define your own goals, set your own pace, and pursue what genuinely matters to you. It's about carving out your own path and not getting derailed by external pressures. Empowering, right? Do you find that independence helps you stay focused on your own goals?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Another excellent question. What's on your mind now?
My next question is, can indifference destroy trust in relationships?
Absolutely, it can. It's a really insidious thing. Trust is built on vulnerability and mutual care. When someone becomes indifferent, it sends a message that they no longer value the emotional connection, and that's incredibly damaging. It creates distance, breeds resentment, and eventually can erode the foundation of the relationship. It's a slow death, really. Have you ever experienced that? Seeing a relationship suffer because of someone's indifference?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. That sounded like a tough thought. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay. What's next on your mind?
My next question is, does indifference sometimes come across as arrogance?
Oh, absolutely. It often does. I think there's a really fine line between confident self assurance and dismissive arrogance, and indifference often falls on the wrong side of that line. When someone seems not to care, it can come across as if they think they're better than others, or that their opinions are more valuable. It's a subtle but powerful signal. What do you think? Have you encountered that dynamic before?
Okay,
No need to answer if you're not up to it. Whenever you're ready, I'm here for the next question.
yes, my next question is, how does indifference lead to loneliness?
That's a really important question to consider. I think it's a paradox, really. Independence is about self reliance, but too much of it can lead to isolation. When you're always relying on yourself, you might be less likely to reach out to others or build strong connections. Also, sometimes people mistake independence for self sufficiency and think they don't need anyone, which can inadvertently push people away. It's about finding a healthy balance, right? Knowing when to stand on your own 2 feet and when to lean on others. Do you think that's true?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. And that's a new one. Noya. Close, but I think you mean Maya. But I appreciate the creativity. What's your
Okay,
next question?
yes, my next question is, can indifference block personal growth?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a massive roadblock. Personal growth requires vulnerability, a willingness to learn from your mistakes, and a commitment to self improvement. And you can't do any of those things if you're indifferent to your own flaws or to the experiences that challenge you. Indifference creates stagnation. It's a closed off state that prevents you from expanding and evolving. What makes you ask that?
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, okay. You're very welcome. You're asking such thoughtful questions. Do you have another one ready?
Okay, my next question is indifference dangerous in times of a crisis?
That's a really insightful question. It can be, yes. In a crisis, relying solely on yourself can be isolating and potentially harmful. Sometimes you need to be able to ask for help, to collaborate with others, to pool resources. Blind independence can prevent you from accessing the support you need. However, having a core of self reliance can also be invaluable in a crisis. The ability to think clearly and act decisively, even when others are panicking. It's a tricky balance, isn't it? What kind of crisis are you imagining?
Okay, thank you very much, Maya.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure discussing these things with you.
No,
Shall we keep going?
okay. My next question is, can indifference was us from overthinking?
Oh, that's a really interesting perspective. And potentially, yes, it can. I think sometimes, especially when we're caught in a cycle of anxiety or rumination, a bit of healthy indifference can be a lifesaver. If you can learn to let go of things you can't control, to not obsess over every detail, it can free up a lot of mental energy. It's about prioritizing what truly matters and not getting bogged down in the trivial. It's like strategic disengagement. What do you think? Have you ever found that indifference helps you quiet your mind? Okay, just a heads up. We're nearing the end of our call, about a
O-
minute left.
Okay,
The
Maya.
maximum call time is 30 minutes.
Okay,
Feel free to
Maya.
reach out again anytime. But for now, let's wrap things up. It was great talking to you.
Okay, Maya. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Allah Hafiz. Take care.
You too. And Allah Hafiz. Take care. It was
सो व्यूवर्स, ये थी आज की हमारी माया। सो आई होप लाइक इट। मिलते हैं किसी नेक्स्ट माया में। तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़। रेहान स्कूल, इस्लामाबाद कैंपस, पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद।